Okay, what we were discussing in last week is about magnets and basically magnetic properties, how magnets work, and so what are the important properties of magnet, and how to identify North Pole and South Pole. Poles are the edges of these magnets. Actually, so some magnets have these poles marked. That means the North Pole and South Pole is either colored or marked like this. So then it is very easy to identify, because when poles are marked, so that is basically as given. So then actually the more magnetic concentration, the magnetic power or more concentration is there in this North Pole and South Pole. So we call that magnetic field, that is basically concentrated on the South Pole and North Pole. That is the nature of magnet if it is like bar magnet. But if it is some other magnet, so here a magnet like horseshoe or U magnet or ring magnet or tabular magnet, so that is again scattered, or that is they are in here U magnet also in the South and North Pole. And the ring magnets, so basically it depends on where the South and North Pole are, actually both sides. So will be, so then you can see the magnetism more in these two areas. So after that, actually we were discussing how to mark magnet if it is not marked, how to identify poles basically, because I said something called geomagnetism. So what is geomagnetism? Can you remember what is geomagnetism? So why geomagnetism is there, and what is geomagnetism? Yes, if you can remember, please tell me. Geomagnetism. Yes.
I was not in the class, sir.
Sorry.
When you in the magnet lesson, sir.
I didn't get it, Sangi. Mukadda putte?
So I couldn't join to the class.
You couldn't join to the class that day, right? Okay, right. Basically, okay. So then you have to watch the video. I have already added the video to the channel, and so please go and watch that. Anyway, so do I need to summarize then what we have done? I'll quickly do that, but don't take much time on this. What we were discussing is basically about the magnets. Magnets are special materials where it has a special property of attracting objects. And these not just attracting some objects. Actually, magnetism is basically attracting objects, but you can see in the pencil box, in chessboard, inside the motor, there are magnets. Inside speakers, there are magnets, right? So we just discuss about the effects, and some object attract and some object will not attract. So example here, so these are type of magnets if you use them. So you can see objects like nail, objects like a file clip. So these things will attract. And basically they will attract to the poles. Poles mean the edges. Right? In these edges, the more magnetic power is concentrated. More power is there. I can make edge දෙකේ මේක සාමාන්‍යයෙන් මෙහෙත් තියෙනවා magnetism නැත්තේ නැහැ. හැබැයි මේ edge දෙකේ වැඩි. North south edge දෙකේ. ඉතින් ඒකට attract වෙන ගතිය වැඩි. එතකොට magnet එකක් සාමාන්‍යයෙන් අපි දිශා ලකුණු කරලා නැත්තම් මේ poles ලකුණු කරලා නැත්තම් if these edges, if these north and south poles are not marked, අපිට පුළුවන් magnet එකක් free hang කරන්න. ඒ කියන්නේ මැද්දෙන් එල්ලන්න මේක මේ බාධක තද කරලා නෙවෙයි. Here you can see there's a small string and they have used a wood stand and then hang this magnet. Take a free එල්ලලා. So when you keep like this, it will turn to it will always turn to a certain direction. එක දිශාවකට ඒක හැම වෙලේම ඔයාලා මේක මේ let's say you have like rotated this and stop. පොඩක් කරකවලා නැවතුවා කියලා හිතමුකෝ. Even when you rotate and stop, it will basically rotate and stop in a certain position. එයා කරකිලා නවතින්නේ එකම place එකට, එකම position එකට. Have you seen compass? Compass දැකලා තියෙනවද? මාලිමා?
Yes, sir.
Have you seen? Okay. In compass, Sanubi, in compass, when you make it stable, what will happen? Compass එකක් stable කරාම මොකද වෙන්නේ?
The red point arrow will go to the north side.
Right. Hari man compass එකක් වාට share කරන්නද? So there is a okay, so that what you said is correct. But let me share a compass. එතකොට තවත් ඕක interactively වාට බලන්න පුළුවන්. ඔන්න මම compass එකක how can I share? So you may wonder, right? Compass is not having a screen sharing option නේද? Compass එකට screen sharing නැතුව ඔයා බලන්නේ කොහොමද මම share කරන්නේ? I can share using a camera. But එහෙම නෙමෙයි මම මේ share කරන්න යන්නේ, right? I'm not going to use a camera. Instead of that, I'm going to do some other thing. Let's see what I'm going to do. Just wait.
Okay, sir.
Okay. It gets loaded. Okay, let me stop my stream for a while, and I'm sharing. Okay, you can see this is not a compass actually. This is my stream. This is my mobile phone stream. But there is a compass in mobile phone too. Here you can see there's a compass in mobile phone too, and it first asked me to calibrate. Okay, let me calibrate that, right? So this is like just 3D one. Okay, I have not calibrated it properly anyway. So just use like I previously calibrated that. Okay, let's keep it. I'm keeping this inside the on top of the table. Actually, how a mobile phone can act as a compass? How a mobile phone application work as a compass? Yes. Mobile phone එකක් කොහොමද compass එකක් විදිහට වැඩ කරන්නේ? Mobile phone application එකක්. Yes.
From in the mobile phone, there's a magnet.
map එකක් තියෙනවා තමයි මේ app එකක් දාන්න පුළුවන්. හැබැයි හැම mobile phone එකක්ම එහෙම වැඩ කරන්නේ. Not all the mobile phones support this operation. It's only for some mobile phone because there is a special sensor in mobile phone called gyroscope. Special sensor එකක් තියෙනවා mobile phone එකේ ගුරුත්වයට සංවේදී. Hari? Okay, see, I'm rotating my mobile phone. I'm taking it upwards, right? මම මේකනේ උස්සනවා මෙහෙම කෙලින් හිටවනවා. You can see. It shows like this, right? එතකොට බලන්න එයා පෙන්නන විදිහ මේ කෙලින් හිටවලා තිබ්බම. මේ හරි කෙලින් ඔන්න තිබ්බා. මම tilt කරන පොඩ්ඩක් ඇල කරනවා මේක. බලන්න. You can see. මේ මම ඇල කරනකොට අනිත් පැත්තට. Right? Mobile phone එක ඇල කරනකොට. ඒත් මේ mobile phone එක මේ අතට තියද්දි. අනිත් පැත්ත හැරෙවුවම. මේ කෙලින් desk එක උඩ තියද්දි. Hari, මේ gyroscope කියන එක. If there is a gyroscope sensor in the mobile phone, it can work as a compass. The application, basically, the compass app can work. Otherwise, you can just install the app, but app won't work like this. But if you have the compass, then it works. Okay, then let me rotate this a little and you can see it is showing north. Right? Even when I try to rotate this and even I do something like this, so, and I keep it like this, you can see it rotates and keep this side. It's into the north. Okay, let me share my screen again. Okay, that is the compass behavior. It always rotates to the special side. That is the compass behavior and it rotates to the special side. So that is the nature, right? That is the nature of compass. Okay, just give me a second.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so then right, why this is happening? Because Earth has some magnetic property, and that is called geomagnetism. පෘථිවියට නැත්නම් අපි මේ ඉන්න මේ පෘථිවියටත් තියෙනවා magnetism එකක් අපි එකට කියනවා geomagnetism කියලා. So please remember, right, that word is not there, I guess. So let's say let's search in your book geomagnetism. No, it is not there, right? Anyway, so geomagnetism is this pute. Earth can be treated as a big magnet. Wonderful, right? Geomagnetism is where the Earth can be taken as a big magnet, big bar magnet actually, like this here. So it is like a big bar magnet. Then what will happen if it is a bar magnet? That also has North Pole and South Pole, right?
Yes, sir.
That also has a North Pole and South Pole. Actually, Earth has South Pole. Earth, if Earth is a bar magnet, South Pole is pointed to this side. This is North, right? North Pole is pointed to the other side. So that is reverse, right? If Earth is a magnet, then the South Pole is this side and North Pole is this side. But what will happen if magnet is closer to a magnet? South and south, will it attract or will it pull away? Yes, it's not attracting. So then what will happen? South පැත්තට south පැත්ත ගෑවුනොත් ඒක attract වෙන්නේ නැහැ, තල්ලු කරනවා, අයින් වෙලා යනවා. the north පැත්ත මේව වෙන්නේ නැහැ, ඒකත් තල්ලු වෙනවා. හැබැයි south පැත්තට north පැත්ත, south and north, that will attract. North and south, that will attract. එතකොට අපි magnet එකක් තිබ්බොත් මොකද වෙන්නේ? එල්ලලා තිබ්බොත් magnet එකක් when we hang a magnet, there's something happening. When we hang a magnet, අපි magnet එකක් එල්ලුවම මෙන්න මෙහෙම දෙයක් වෙන්නේ. අපි magnet එකක් එල්ලලා තිබ්බම අපි හිතමු මේ තමයි අපේ magnet එක කියලා. එතකොට magnet එකේ, in this magnet, so this is the north pole and this is the south pole. එතකොට north එකයි south එකයි මේ විදිහට හැරිලා නවතිනවා. මේක පොඩ්ඩක් තව ඇල්ල වෙනවා, right? So not the same because there is a tilt, no? Therefore this will also be tilted. And we will identify this side as north and we will identify this side as south. එතකොට දැන් මේ compass එකේ මොකද උනේ? In compass also there is a magnet. Compass එකේ තියෙන මේ ඉක්මනට හැරෙන්න පුළුවන් magnet එකක්. ඒක lightweight magnet එකක්. Right? Compass එකක තියෙන්නේ මෙහෙම. So that compass, the lightweight magnet, what will happen to this compass lightweight magnet? එතකොට මේකේ තියෙන මේ compass එකේ තියෙන lightweight magnet එකක් මේ වගේ එකක් නේ තියෙන්නේ. This lightweight magnet will turn to the Earth's south. The north will turn to the Earth's south and the south will turn to the Earth's north. Thereby, we can identify the direction. Understood?
Yes, sir.
එතකොට Earth ගේ තියෙන්නේ Earth එක ඇතුලේ තියෙන්නේ අනිත් පැත්තට, south north. Earth එක ඇතුලේ. Geomagnetism is other side. But how we find the direction? How we find the direction is basically based on the magnet that we keep on top of the Earth. හරි? අපි Earth එකේ තියෙන magnet එක නැත්නම් අපි මේ තියෙන compass එකෙන් තමයි අපි දිශාව හොයාගන්නේ. හැබැයි Earth එක ඇතුලේ තියෙන magnetism එක අනිත් පැත්තට තියෙන. හරි? දෙහිම පටලවා ගන්න එපා. ඒ අනිත් පැත්තට තියෙන හින්දා තමයි මේ පැත්තට හැරිලා නවතින්නේ. So if it is like this, the Earth has its north here, earth එකේ north එක, earth එක ඇතුලේ තියෙන north එක මේක. ඒක නෙමෙයි අපි අඳුරගන්නේ. earth එකේ ඇතුලේ තියෙන south එක මේක. That is why this turn this direction. That is our compass is. එතන compass එකක් ළඟට magnet එකක් ගෙනිච්චොත් මොනවා වෙයිද? What happen if you
The magnet will point on the red point arrow. And we turn around the magnet around the compass, the red point arrow will turn around also.
Yeah, that will be sensitive simply if you keep a magnet in closer to a compass. So what will happen? It will behave, right? It will behave according to the nearby magnet field. ළඟ තියෙන magnet එකේ බලපෑම අනුව තමයි යා හැසිරෙන්නේ. Right? That is the nature of magnets. මේ magnets වල හැටි. Right? That is the nature of magnet. එතකොට compass එක ළඟ magnet එකක් තිබ්බොත් එයා accurate දිශාව පෙන්නනවාද හරියටම? නෑ නේද? Right, it can turn. So that is the nature. එතන gyroscope එකක් තියෙන phone එකක් තව මෙතනට ගෙනාවත් ඒ වගේ තමයි. If you bring another phone with a gyroscope, that will also behave like this.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Pute?
Sir, my mother said we can't put magnets closer to the phone because it is harmful.
Yeah, because it can be harmful. Why? Because the magnetic field and mobile phone is also having a magnetic field, and so then the magnet is also has a magnetic field. So these magnetic fields will generate some unwanted effect. Especially that magnetic fields are not good to our brain also. If there's a higher magnetic field, right? If there are like very high magnetic fields, it's not good for our brain too, because and also to mobile phones and all, because these are also working with electricity and magnetism. That is true, right? Okay. Then so what did she say, like, is it harmful to the phone or is it harmful to the people who are using?
For me, sir.
Sorry?
For me.
For you, for people.
Yes, sir.
Yes, for people also, because like high magnetic fields are really not good, because that is affecting, because we have some magnetic sensitive elements inside our body. Do you believe that we have magnetic sensitive elements inside our body too? There are, right? There are magnetic sensitive elements inside our body, right? Here, magnetic sensitive, that means that will attract or so these are researchers, right? So you can just go to this and see. There are some researchers, and you can just go and watch this video, right? So human can also feel this, because we are also, so this small inside us also there are small magnets, but those are not magnets like that what you see, the north south magnet, bar magnets, but especially some researchers have like there are debates in some researchers, people, that scientists were telling that the blood has iron, therefore blood is sensitive to the magnetic field. Blood has iron, therefore blood is sensitive to magnetic, some researchers, right? So when there is a high powerful magnet, it is affecting even the blood. Some are telling, right, for neurons to work, the brain and all have sensitive elements to magnets. So if you keep a powerful magnet, that will also happen. That is why, like, some people are arguing, like, using mobile phones heavily will affect your brain and all. So because there is a magnetic field around the mobile phone, especially when the signal length is low, the magnetic field will high. There are researchers like that. Signal ගොඩාක් අඩු වෙනකොට phone එකට So එතකොට මේ ඒ සිග්නල් එක ගන්න ඩිවයිස් එකෙන් මැග්නටික් ෆීල්ඩ් එක වැඩියෙන් එනවා කියලා කියනවා. එතකොට සිග්නල් ගොඩාක් අඩු වෙලාවට යූස් කරන්න එපා කියලා කියනවා. අන්තිමට බැටරි ගොඩාක් අඩු වෙලාවට මැග්නටික් ෆීල්ඩ් එක වැඩි වෙනවා කියලා කියනවා. These are some researchers, right? Can you hear me? Hello, Sanugi?
Yes, sir.
Right, can you hear me properly?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, pole identification, the next practical that we did is this. You can keep it in a rigiform or some lid, plastic lid, or there.
This experiment, sir.
I have done this one. So have you kept this in a rigiform or?
Circle rigiform, sir.
Circle rigiform එක. මේ කිරලෑම්බයක් උඩත් balance කරන්න පුළුවන්. You can use like that is also float ඉන්නේ. අර කිරලෑම්බ තියෙන lid එක තියෙන්නේ අර මේ ඒවා අර තියෙන්නේ මොනවද ආයුර්වේදයේ එහෙම තියෙන්නේ බෝතල් වල. ඒවේ තමයි තියෙන්නේ. දැන් නම් හොයන්න අඩුයි නේද? දැන් තියෙන්නේ plastic lid නේ. So if you get that like then also you can balance on top of that. That is also float in water. And you can, so because like there is a minimum power, right? Then it can freely float and rotate according to the direction. That is yes. Yes, Sanugi, yes.
We did this experiment in grade 5, sir.
Grade 5, yes. For the scholarship exam, you have that.
Yes, sir.
That is true. Grade 5 scholarship book ekේ තියෙනවා on that. Okay, so this is the other practical. You said that, right? The south and south will not attract, and as well as north and north will not attract. But south and north, the different poles will attract. That we learn. That is also we discuss actually. This was a summary. Okay, so this experiment is basically showing the magnetic and non-magnetic elements. If you try to keep nail in front of a magnet or nail closer to magnet, it will attract. Basically, it will attract to south pole or north pole. But if poles are unavailable for some reason, then it will attract to the other surfaces also. දැන් අපි පෝල් මේවා දෙකේ මොන හරි ගෑවක් කියලා හිතමු මැටි හරි කද්ද මොන හරි දෙයක් මේවා කළා මේ පෝල්ස් පේන්න නැහැ. එතකොට මේ පිටතට හරි ඇට්‍රැක්ට් වෙනවා. හැබැයි පෝල්ස් පේන්න තිබ්බොත් පෝල්ස් වලට ගම ගිහිල්ලා ඇට්‍රැක්ට් වෙනවා. Well, if poles are closer, it will attract to the poles because that has high magnetic fields. හරි මේ කොන් දෙකේ තමයි මේ poles දෙකේ තමයි මේවා වැඩි magnetism එක. එතකොට මැද්දට අපි ඇණයක් තිබ්බත් සමහරවිට මෙයා ටක් ගාලා rotate වෙලා ගිහලා මේ පැත්තට. But pencil that will not attract. Magnet, will it attract? Magnet to another magnet? Will it attract? Magnet දෙකක් attract වෙනවද?
No, sir.
No, oh yes.
Both sides, sir.
Yes, if both sides equal, no. ඒක හරි. දෙපැත්තම equal නම් නෑ නේද? North and north pole will not. South and south pole will not. But north and south pole, it will attract. The north and south pole na attract now. North north na south south na. That is the magnet. Okay. So this is actually to learn this practical. You have to do this to learn about the magnetic force and magnetic field. Magnetic field is basically the area which magnetism affects. The area which magnetism affect is called magnetic field. Magnet එකේ power එක බලපවත්වන area එක. Right? The area which the magnetic field. So I will give this note today. I have already given this last day, but since you were not available, I think I had that. I'm not sure. Wait, I have given a note to grade 6, grade 8 science. I hope not this. No. Anyway, I'll give that next day. I'll give that next day, right? For some reason I missed that.
Okay.
Let's wait. No. Is it the one? No. This is old one. This is not the one. Yeah, I'll give that one. Right. Magnetic field is basically the area where the magnetic force spread. So you can see, so when you spread some iron dust, so you can see something like this. It's like a flower starting from these poles, and it is circularly spreading lines like things around the magnet. That is called magnetic field. You can clearly see this, right? So if you use iron fillings around the magnet, you can clearly see the pattern. So in north and south pole, there will be more, and in the other areas, there will be less. So that is called magnetic field. Magnetic field. Right? You can, what you need to do is you have to use iron filling and then keep it on top of a paper, then keep magnet in the middle and then slowly tap it, and that will arrange. Another way to do this, so you can use magnetic dust, and mix it with coconut oil. I think, have you done this practically in a scholarship? Make a scholarship again.
Yes, sir, but we didn't put coconut oil, sir.
All right. Coconut oil, make it a coconut oil. If you want to put coconut oil, you have to use a beaker. Right? Beaker again. Let me show. Take a beaker. Then iron filling. Iron filling, how can you find iron filling?
From old chairs.
Yes, you can either use like there are like unwanted iron bars and all. No, when you like use that you know, there is a like places where the iron cutting and all happen. So from those places also you can collect these iron dust. යකඩ කපන තැන් වලත් තියෙනවා. නැත්නම් අර යකඩ කපන චූටි කේතක් අරගෙන ඒකෙන් කපන්න ඕන පොඩි බා එකක්. ඒකෙනුත් එකතු කරගන්න පුළුවන්. easy විදියකුත් තියෙනවා. You can take a magnet and wrap it with a paper. Magnet එකක් අරගෙන මේ magnet එක ඔතනවා paper එකකින්. You can wrap it with a paper. ඊට පස්සේ මේ paper එක මේක ගිහිල්ලා මෙහෙම හොඳට ඔතලා නැත්නම් මේකට මේ සිලිමල්ලක් දාන්නත් පුළුවන්. You can put a shopping bag or polythene cover to this. ඊට පස්සේ අපි ගිහිල්ලා මේක මේ නිකන් sand පිටුලේ තියෙන වැලි. ඒ වැලි වල යාන්තම් මේක rub කරගෙන අතුල්ලාගෙන යනවා වැලි වල. එතකොට මොකද වෙන්නේ? What will happen if you just rub some sand, if you just put into the sand? Have you tried this? Magnet එකක් යාන්තම් අතුල්ලාගෙන යනවා. හැබැයි මේක පොඩ wrap කරලා ඉන්නේ නැත්නම් මේකේ වටේට මේ වැලි ඇලෙන්න ගන්න. What will happen? Haven't you tried that? Now try කරලා බලන්නකො ඊළඟ දවසේ මොකද පුතේ? Sanugi, your voice is a bit lagging. Can you tell it again?
The magnetic dust will appear.
Yes, magnetic. Yes, there will be magnet sensitive dust. It is actually magnet sensitive sand, because in the sand, in sand, Pute, there are magnetic materials. Then kandam sahita වැල්ලක් තියෙනවා. වැලි තියෙනවා. ඒ වැලි වල කාන්දම් ගතියක් තියෙනවා. කාන්දම් වලට ඇලෙන ගතිය. කාන්දම් නෙවෙයි. කාන්දම් වලට ඇලෙනවා. ඒකෙත් අර පොඩ්ඩක් iron ඒ වගේ තියෙනවා. Iron, ferrite, there are different type of sands. එතකොට මේ iron විතරක් නෙවෙයි, iron, steel තියෙනවා. එක එක ඒවා magnet වලට ඇලෙන ඒවා තියෙනවා. හැබැයි සමහර ඒවා ඇලෙන්නේ නැහැ. So if you try with gold, copper, so that will not. But there are some elements that will attract to magnets. සමහර ලෝහ කොටස් ඇලෙනවා. ලෝහමය වැලි තියෙනවා. ඒතර ඒවයි සමහර ඒවා විතරයි. Only some, right? Yes.
A diamond will attach to a magnet.
No. So then it is very easy to find diamonds, right? Right? So then there are some metals there are, so it has property carbon like thing will not attract likewise. Anyway, this way you can find magnetic sand. මේ magnetic sand එක use කරන්නත් පුළුවන් මේකට. එහෙම නැත්නම් යකඩ කපන තැනකින් නැත්නම් ඔයා යකඩ කැල්ලක් කපලා එන කුඩු එක ගන්න ඕන. ඒක what you need to do is you have to put a coconut oil to not this much, you can put some amount of coconut oil into a beaker, then mix magnetic sand. Let's say this magnetic sand is around here. Then you have to use a test tube. For the test tube එකක් දාලා ඉවරලා මේකට දැන් test tube එකක් දාන්නේ මේ පොල් තෙල් ගෑවෙනවා. එහෙනම් test tube එකක් දැම්මම මේ test tube එකේ පොල් තෙල් නැහැ. හරි? Test tube will be empty. Then you can put the magnet into the test tube, the bar magnet. What will happen? දැන් මේ magnet dust එක තමයි තියෙන්නේ මේකේ දිය වෙලා මේ පොල් තෙල් වල දිය වෙලා කියන තැනින් තැන තියෙනවා magnet dust එක. එහෙම තියෙද්දි I'll put a test tube and then put a bar magnet to this. Maybe I can use a small string to hang it. ඔන්න පොඩි නූල් කෑල්ලකින් එල්ලලා මේක දාන්න පුළුවන් මේක ඇතුළට. ඒතර පොල් තෙල් ගෑවෙන්නේ නැහැ bar magnet එකේ. That will go inside test tube, and what will happen to the sand? Sand will arrange like this. හරි? වැලි ඒ විදිහට arrange වෙනවා.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so that is the practical. That also you can try. ඒක ලස්සනට පේනවා මේකට වැඩිය පුතේ. ඒක ටිකක් අර නිකන් මේ ඒතකොට අහසේ තියනවා වගේ. ඒ කියන්නේ මේක ඇතුලේ අර තියෙන magnet එක, magnetic dust එක ලස්සන 3D විදියට, ත්‍රිමාන විදියට arrange වෙලා තියෙනවා. So this looks beautiful. So when you do this. But you have to use very thin, small dust. ගොඩාක් අර තුනී වැල්ලක් use කරන්න ඕන. මොකද ගොඩාක් අර ඝනකම් එක ගත්තොත් ඒක පොල් තෙල් වල යටට ගිලිලා යනවා. එතකොට මේ යට so then so if you have like highway ගොඩාක් low weight එක වැඩි වුණොත් මෙන්න මේකේ test tube එකේ යට මේකේ මේව එල්ලෙන්න ගන්නවා. අයි මේව යටට යනවනේ. ඒතර test tube එකේ යට තමයි මේ magnet එල්ලිලා තියෙන්නේ magnet. මේක කැතයි. එහෙම නැතුව අර චූටි තුනී වැල්ල තිබ්බොත් මේක වටේට arrange වෙනවා. I'll show you a video next day, right? We have done that practical in Steam. I'll show you that video. Okay, so can you, right, I said that the materials like iron, nickel, cobalt, these things basically, but gold, silver, copper, these things are non-magnetic, right? Gold, silver, copper, these are non-magnetic. It's still not attract to the magnet. But iron, cobalt, nickel-like thing, that will attract to the magnet. So we can create a magnet using these metals. So for an example, there are situations that we create magnets. So you know this tester or like screwdrive. අර ස්ක්‍රූ එක දන්නවනේ අර මේ නියන් තියෙන්නේ මෙන්න මෙහෙම අර මේවා ගලවන්න තියෙන මල්ලි ස්ක්‍රූ එහෙම තියනවා නේද? there are screwdrivers no. ඒතර මේ screwdrivers සමහර වෙලාවට පුතේ මේ screwdrivers දාන්න ඕන. let's say this is a screwdriver. Sometimes you need to put this screwdriver to remove nails. You have to put this screwdriver into depth. සමහර වෙලාවට screws තියෙන්නේ සමහර device වල speakers වල එහෙම තියෙනවා මේ වගේ. ඒතර screw එක තියෙන්නේ ඇතුලේ. Okay, let's see, this is your surface and this is like horizontal cut, right? Horizontal cut of the device. See, this is a horizontal cut of the device. ඒතර මේ screwdriver එක දානකොට nail එක දාලා තියෙන්නේ මෙන්න මේ හරිය. So let's say the nail is here. I'm drawing the nail in some other color, right? let's say this is the nail. Then you have to use the screwdriver to remove this nail. Actually, nail is inside this cut. Sometimes not in the laptops, but in speakers and all. Speaker wala hema me ana tiyenne athule. Have you seen that there are small holes to put the screwdriver? Screwdriver එක දාන චූටි සිදුරක් තියෙනවා. දැකලා තියෙනවද?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Then when you try to remove the nail, it will remain inside. Even though you try to remove the nail, it will be inside. And also when you are fixing this, again it's difficult to put the nail properly. Then actually technical people do one thing before they basically remove this nail. They do one thing. They will magnetize this screwdriver. Have you seen that? දැකලා තියෙනවද? දැන් මේ ගලවන මේ ඇන ගලවනකොට ඒගොල්ලෝ ඉස්සෙල්ලාම මැග්නට් එකක් සමානලාට අරගෙන මේ ස්ක්‍රූ ඩ්‍රයිවර් එක පොඩ්ඩක් මැග්නටයිස් කරගන්න. Have you seen that? නෑ නේද? හරි. ඔයාට ඔන්න ඊළඟ දවසේ එහෙම එකක් කරන්න උනොත් කරන්න පුළුවන්. දැන් ඇතුලේ තියෙන ඇණයක් මේ වගේ එකක් ගලවද්දි මේ ඇණය එළියට ගන්න අමාරුයි. එක්ක මේ ඩිවයිස් එක හරවන්න වෙනවා, මොකක් හරි එකක් කරන්න වෙනවා. එහෙම නැත්නම් මේ ඇණේ හරියට දා ගන්න අමාරුයි. ඒ දෙකේදීම මේකට මැග්නටිසම් තිබ්බනම් හරිනේ නේද? ස්ක්‍රූ ඩ්‍රයිවර් එකේ පොඩි මැග්නට් එකක් තිබ්බනම් ඕක ඇදලා ගන්නවනේ. මේ වගේ. ඒ හින්දා yes, what they are doing actually, they will slowly rub this using a magnet. එයාලා මේ edge එක magnet එකක අතුල්ලනවා. That is called contact method. Contact method කියලා අපි ඉස්සරහටත් ඉගෙන ගන්නවා. ඒක method එකක් in higher grades we will learn that. Using that අපි කරන්නේ ඇත්තටම magnet එක මෙහෙම දෙපැත්තට magnet එකේ දෙපැත්තට මේ screw driver එක අතුල්ලනකොට.
So in my toolkit there's a magnet screw.
So in the screw driver there is a magnet.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
there are different types of them, sir.
Yeah. Some screwdrivers having like the magnet to fix the. So if you want to fix and remove the screwdriver head, then also the magnet is there. එහෙමත් තියෙනවා. එහෙමද ඔයා කියන්නේ? screwdriver එකේ head එක වෙනස් කරන්න තියෙනව නේද?
Yes, sir.
ඒ set එකේ magnet තියෙනවා. ඒකත් හරි. That is also correct. So there is a small magnet to fix that. ඒ magnet එකෙන් තමයි ඒක attract වෙලා fix වෙන්නේ. Yes, that is also true. But මේක අර fix තියෙන screwdrivers tool set වල තියෙන එකක් නෙමෙයි. Fix තියෙන screwdrivers තියෙන විගේවා. ඒවට. Right, what you can do is you can use the contact method and rub this. Right, rub this and contact this several times. After doing this several times, there will be magnetism in the screwdriver. Then screwdriver එකේ magnet එකක් නැහැ. හැබැයි මේ contact method එකෙන් දෙපැත්තට පොඩ්ඩක් මෙහෙම තිල්ලුවට පස්සේ screwdriver එකට magnetism එකක් එනවා. Right, there will be magnetism. So after that you can use it in a convenient way. ඊට පස්සේ ඔයාලට පුළුවන් එක පහසුවෙන් පාවිච්චි කරන්න. So that is a tip. And have you seen the static magnetism? This like are a balloon and papers. Have you done that?
No, sir.
It is static voltage basically. Here the small. This is very small practical. You can do that, right? Balloon and actually you have to put small papers. Static electricity, right? This is actually kind of magnetism, but it shows static electricity. Sthithika vidyute කියලා එකක් තියෙනවා. In electricity lesson we will learn. ඒකේ මෙහෙම එකක් කරන්න පුළුවන්. You can just rub the balloon, right? Here.
We can do it with the pen, sir.
Yeah. With the pen and papers also you can do. නේ. The පෑනක් මේව කළත් පුළුවන් අර කොණ්ඩේ අතුල්ලලානේ.
Yes, sir.
Right. So we can use it. And comb is also possible. Comb and will also work. It's in the plastic that will happen. So basically, what will happen? So when you rub this in hair or some, so it will get this negative and positive. That is also kind of magnetism, but this is actually electricity. These positives and negatives will be there in one side when you rub this, and then the positives and negative here you can rub it in hair, right? Basically use a balloon. Yes.
we need to heat that from our hair, sir.
Yeah, you need to make it like, even it is not get heated, that is okay. But anyway, you are transferring. So what you are doing is you are transferring this negative and positive power. You are just separating and putting it into the balloon. Then when it is charged like this, it will attract small papers. It will attract small papers. That is what happening in the combined air or this plastic pen experiment. So that is what happened. That is static electricity, right? That is also kind of magnetism, but it is basically, we call that electricity, static electricity, because these are small electric particles, negative and positive. So similar to that, the magnetism can be transferred. ඒ වගේම magnetism එකක් magnet එක අර කොණ්ඩයක් තුලනවා වගේ magnet එකක් that can be transferred. Okay. Right. Now here. So this is actually small, again small thing about using the magnetic materials. You know, file clip will attract to magnet, no? So file clip, since file clip is iron, so that will attract to a magnet, that will happen. So you can just put a cardboard and piece of paper and then use a small amount of clay, or don't use big amount of clay, and small amount of clay and iron rod, and then you can just put it in water. Then what you can do using a magnet, right? You can just, so because the magnetic field is basically there for some distance, you can use a magnet to move it here and there. You can use the magnet to move it, right? So that is very small thing, but this is like, this should be a tiny setup. If you are using a large basin, you have to use very large magnet to do that. But if you are using small basin or small beaker, this will happen. And another thing, like if you can see, if something is fallen into water, or if file clip or something is fallen into, let's say, oil or water, and it is in the depth, then what you can do, you can use a magnet from the outside and bring it up, right? Because this will attract to the magnet. The file clip එකක් මොකක් කරේ එකක් වතුර භාජනයක යට වැටලා තියෙද්දි ඒත් magnet එකකින් මේ භාජනයෙන් අත දාන්නේ නැතුව වතුර භාජනයක magnet එකකින් මේක උඩට ගන්න, because that will attract to the magnet. Right, that is another. Okay. So which are powerful magnets? Is it iron magnet or ferrite magnets? What do you think? Ferrite is more powerful than iron, right? So the ferrite magnet සමහරට දැකලත් ඇරියට තියෙන එක ටිකක් අලු පාට වගේ එකක් තියෙනවා. අලු පාට වගේ.
I know, sir.
දැකලා තියෙනවද?
Yes, sir.
Ferrite.
It is powerful than the small magnet.
Yes. So the ferrite magnet basically in this color, right? These are ferrite, yes. And neodymium magnets are also powerful. These neodymium magnets you can just get from eBay or Daras. You can get this. These are ferrite magnets. These ferrite magnets are very powerful. So it can attract elements so powerfully, right? So these magnets are there inside hard disk. But I think that you have not removed the hard disk cover. Don't remove the hard disk cover to see the magnet inside. But inside the hard disk, these magnets are there. That magnet is very, very, very powerful magnet. So if there is a broken hard disk, or you can buy some hard disks which are like thrown away. So then no need to buy, actually you can get it for free. Or if there is a broken hard disk, you can just remove the cover, and inside there is a very powerful magnet. It's a good powerful magnet in hard disk. Hard disk is a magnet storage. Okay, that is about the lesson. Right. So we learned that only some materials attract to the magnet, not everything. Right. Then the basically higher magnetic field is there in the North Pole and South Pole. and we learn how to mark North Pole and South Pole, and then actually similar poles will repel, or similar pole is not attracts fully in a way, but different poles will attract. And so magnets are used in different tasks, like in motors, dynamo, in bags, zippers, in screwdrivers, in hard disks, in speakers. These magnet size. In a speaker also there is a powerful magnet, right? In speaker inside. So if you have broken, so earphones, in earphones also there's a magnet. Earphone කැඩුණොත් ඒක දැකලා තියෙනවද? ඇතුලේ magnet එකක් තියෙනවා. Have you seen that? Earpiece, earphones වල තියෙනවා, headphones වල කැඩුණ එකක් ගලවලා බලන්න. කැඩුණ එකක් හොඳ එකක් ගලවන්න එපා. Inside that there's a magnet, small magnet. Right? That is why keeping earphone for long time is also not good, because there's a magnet. Speakers, definitely there are magnets. Right, okay. So let's answer these questions very quickly. Question number 1. What is the answer? What are the materials attract to the magnet? Yes. What are the materials which attract to the magnet?
A gold ring.
No, gold is not attracting. I said that in the beginning. So what are not attracting? Gold not attracting, lead not attracting, silver is not attracting, copper is not attracting, right? Gold, silver, copper will not attract. Gold, silver, copper, and tin. Tin is also not attracting. Gold, silver, copper, tin, those things will not attract.
Iron.
Iron, yes, iron will attract, iron nail will attract, and blade will attract, right? Iron nail will attract, and blade will attract.
Glass.
Glass? Rod?
A blade will not attract.
Yeah, will not attract. Glass rod will not attract. Blade will attract.
So marbles.
Marbles, no. Marbles are like small, like it's you can consider that as a clay or glass material, right? Clay or glass material that will not attract. And lead is also not, right? Yes. Question number 2. Yes, question number 2. Brass is a material which get attract to magnets. Brass. Will it attract? No. It's wrong, right? It's wrong. No, brass will not attract. Then all the spots of the magnet have the same power of magnetism. Is it correct? No, no. Magnetic poles have. We can find the north pole of the magnet with help of a compass.
Yes.
Yes, we can find it. Because compass is also a magnet. Right? Compass is also a magnet. That we can find. Any metal is attracted to a magnet. Any metal? No. When magnet is hung freely, it always lies the direction of north-south.
Correct.
Yes, if it is freely hanged, yes. But this statement has some issue, because it not always. If there is another magnet nearby, right? So that should be considered. Right? This is correct, but you have within bracket you have to remember what. If there is a powerful magnet nearby, then it will not, right? You have to remember that as well. Okay. The space is higher at poles. What is higher at the poles? Yes. The magnetism is higher at the poles. Same type of poles are named as? Same type of poles are named? You have to select from the brackets. Same type of poles are named as? Like poles. These type of poles, like poles, will it attract or repel?
Attract.
Like poles? Oh my God. Like poles means same type of poles.
Unlike.
Yeah, unlike poles will attract, but like poles will not. Like poles here actually repel, right? Same, these type of poles will repel each other. Different type of poles are named as unlike poles, and that will attract each other. Okay, that is easy question. So when there are two magnets, how can we find the most powerful magnet?
By putting attracting things.
Yeah, you can put magnetic dust and you can see how it attracts. Or you can put magnetic elements, maybe file clips. So let's put 10 file clips and make the magnet closer. You can see which will attract more file clips, right? By using that you can. So, okay, what will happen to the cars if you keep like this? Will it attract or repel? The cars, will it attract or repel?
Repel.
Repel, because it is like poles. Like poles will repel. Okay, I think yes, we have discussed that, and then next day we have to discuss our electricity lesson. Okay, Pute, I'll stop from here. I'll give the note to you next day. Then good night. See you next week.
Night, sweet dreams.
Okay.